Hello, how are we doing? I'm just out here this morning picking some of our beetroot. We've got lovely baby beetroot. That's not quite what I wanted to talk to you about today. What I wanted to talk to you about today is that in the UK right now we have a lot of social issues going on. We have food shortages, we have fuel shortages, families are having money taken off them left, right and centre, taxes have just been risen, costs of fuel and gas etc. for heating houses has just skyrocketed, and there's a lot of people out there who are going to be worried about whether they can feed their families just normal everyday food over the winter time. And if you're growing anything, you're already ahead of the game in a lot of respects. Like these beetroot, I can take these in now. I'm going to pickle them. Some of them aren't ready yet, but that's okay. And then the greens I can freeze down to put in the freezer. Now not everybody has the room to grow their own veg, but most people have a windowsill that they can put a pot of herbs or two, and that already makes you ahead of the game, let alone anything else. I don't want these to be really huge because I want little baby ones. They're a lot smaller than we actually thought they were, so not quite as many as I thought, but that's okay. We have got a few, and that's all that matters. And as you can see, our once lush jungle of a polytunnel is now reduced to a few plants at their end of their life that have just about done their dash, and things that were overwintering and keeping in here for safety reasons more than anything. The one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, there's 12 weeks until Christmas. Yeah, I said it. I did. 12 weeks till Christmas. 12 weeks till Yule. 12 weeks till that week of the year where everyone goes mad, buys stupid amounts of everything, most of it to get broken or wasted. And if you can't do it, more and more people feeling guilt over the fact that they can't give their kids or themselves what they think they deserve or should be doing, because the media and tradition tells us that's what we have to do. So this year, like many of you, Tanny and I are in the position where we're struggling. We're always struggling. We live on disability benefits, it's no secret. But what we have to do this year, because we're still here and we haven't moved yet, we can't touch our moving fund. So to allow us to be able to have some kind of Christmas, we're putting aside £10 a week to cover food, presents and decorations and everything this year. Everything has to be homemade. Now I might be a step ahead of many because I was a chef, but what I want to do is show you guys that it's not that hard. It can be done, and I'm going to share with you over the next 12 weeks some very simple, easy and cheap dishes to create that can be made ahead of time and frozen or preserved or whatever, and give you some ideas for presents that could be handed down and treasured by people, you know, that you give them to for the years to come. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Though we're going to talk about budgeting. So what we're going to do, we need to plan ahead. We need to organize our budgeting. We need to organize, where do we start, what do we do, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my 5 best tips for organising Christmas and what you have to look at before you even do anything. Number 1, you need to plan ahead. That planning ahead means you need to decide what you're going to be serving, what you want to serve, how you know better than anybody else who's coming, what they eat, what they don't eat, what they can eat, whether they've got dietary requirements or, you know, whatever else, their likes, their dislikes, all of that stuff. And you're the one who is best able to take all that into account when you're meal planning or planning the day in general. Covered in mud. Ew. Okay, so do that. And when it comes down to planning ahead, don't get overwhelmed. I know it's really easy to spend a lot of time on places like Pinterest and get yourself lost in all the glitter and the pretty cookies and all of that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, don't choose more than 4 or 5 veg. Don't choose more than 2 mains. Don't choose more than 2 desserts, a hot one and a cold one, unless you have to. And whatever nibbles you want to have. But I wouldn't do more. And as for the cookies, get the kids to help. Good God. 1 good recipe or 2 good recipes can be made into 100 different types of cookies. It depends on the cutters, it depends on the icing, it depends on the trim. It's basically the same recipe, it all made to look different. That's all it is. So don't get lost in it, okay? Okay, so the second thing we have to do is we have to learn to expect the unexpected. Whatever can and will go wrong always does. Not just true in theatre, but true in anything. Whatever will go wrong, can go wrong, will go wrong. It may not, but expect it to. So be aware of that. If there are things that you need to make that are very specific, make 2. Make spares. It's Christmas and New Year's. Things like extra cookies, extra sausage rolls, anything like that are never going to go to waste. Never. Not in a million years. So if it is going to be like that, just, yeah. The other thing is as well, if you're looking at making your own Christmas presents and decks and stuff, which is what we're going to be looking at this year, then make sure you have a little bit more than you really, really need for what you're making. Because again, what can go wrong will go wrong. And if you make the wrong cut somewhere or you cock it up entirely, you need to start again. It's always better to have a bit more than it is to have too little. It's also a little bit cheaper in the long run. And if it doesn't go wrong at all, you've got spare materials to do what you wanted with. Okay, so number 3 is look for offers. This is the most important, alright? If you see an offer and it's less than half the price of what you would normally buy, and it's your basic pantry ingredients or something that's frozen or in a jar or canned or something like that that you know that you're going to use over that period, buy 2. You know, buy 2. Just so that you've got one that you can use now and one that you can put away for another day. Especially if it's half price or less. If it's like a quarter of the price, buy 4. Is it really that hard? Third of the price, buy 3. You were going to buy it anyway. So you may as well spend the money you were going to and get more for your money than you would have otherwise. The other thing to look for as well, is make the reduced section of the supermarket your friend. Whereas reduced veg, buy them up, process them, put them in the freezer, get them ready for making whatever you want to make. Get as far as you can with the production of that before freezing them, before the cooking stage, and freeze them up. There's nothing harmful in that. And a lot of what you're going to see me doing is actually freezing stuff ready to go for Christmas. Because honestly, I don't have the physical ability right now to be able to rush and do 1,000 things all in a few days. I used to do that. I really did. And I was working full time, and I had my boys, and I had foster kids, and I had my husband at the time, and family and everything else. And I nearly killed myself every single year. And it took me until after my birthday, which is in January, to recover. And that's not fair on anyone. It certainly isn't fair on you, because Christmas is for you too. This is your day as well. So, you know, you should enjoy it. And to be able to do that, not having to spend your entire day in the kitchen, you know, or the entire week in the kitchen, is going to be your best shot at enjoying yourself. And that's what we're going to do this year. So this is number 4. If you're making something like pastry in the year, or a cake, or cookies, or anything like that, that can be frozen, either cooked and frozen, or frozen in its raw state, ready for cooking, make 2. It's not going to take you any longer. It may take a few more ingredients, but it's already there. And you don't have to worry about that anymore, because it's one less thing. So number 5, and this is a really important one at this point, looking after the money that you're budgeting for this day, or this week, or whatever. If you've planned ahead properly and you've worked out your menus, what you're willing to make, what you want to make, what your family will eat, all of that kind of thing, what events are happening, any unexpected events, and planned away for all of that, you'll have a pretty good idea of, you know, how much money you're going to need. Now this year we only have £10 a week. We have to stick to that. What then happens is that I put that money away. I put it away, or I purchase the things that I'm going to need with it, either online or when I go and do the shop. Most of the time I try and purchase as much as possible online, because I get better deals that way and I find better prices. And if I'm really clever and think very hard about it and know where I'm purchasing from, I can work out what their shipping deals are. Now obviously if you're a member of Amazon already, you will know, if you have Amazon Prime, you get next day delivery. Or at the moment it's more like 2 or 3 day delivery, but it's free delivery. So that's one thing. However, their prices are not that cheap. And in a lot of respects, I found them to cost just as much, if not more, than ones that I've had to pay for the postage as well. So the postage, as much as they say, oh no, it's free postage, really isn't that free. So be aware of that. But then there are places that will offer you a certain deal for true free delivery if you make a purchase over a certain amount. And over the course of my unboxing videos, you will have seen different companies that I've used that actually truly do that, and we do end up with much better deals for it. So there's 2 ways of doing it. Either you can put away, depending on how long you're going to be budgeting for, you can either set up a savings account and put the money away straight away as you get paid. That money then you don't see, and what you don't see, you don't miss. And you just work around it. Or you can grab it out of the bank, stick it in a jar, in a public place in the house, where everyone can see it, and everyone knows what it is, and they know that if any money goes missing from it, which, you know, we've all been parents, it happens, you know, or we've had to go, you know, I haven't had any money for milk or whatever, so I've gone out and borrowed money from the Christmas jar. Oh, that one's not too pleasant. Let's just rip that one in half. You know, promising to put it back double the next week or whatever. Never happens. Don't do it. Don't be allowed to do it. Obviously, if you're living on your own, you are your own master or mistress, and therefore be it on your own head. But the rest of us who actually live with people or others and are accountable, we need them to keep us accountable and us to keep them accountable for that money, because that is for what we want it for. It also gives a really good opportunity to chuck spare change in. I don't think any of us like carrying around a wad full of coins anyway. But if you have the opportunity and you have coins that are weighing down your pocket, chuck them in the jar. It's amazing how much that shit adds up. There you go, guys. That is my 5 best plans for, or my 5 best ideas for planning and budgeting for your special holiday week, whatever that may be. For me it's Yule, for Tani it's Christmas, for a lot of you it's Christmas, for some of you it's other things, and whatever that may be, this counts for all of it. So there we go. So whatever you're doing today, I hope you have a really, really awesome one, and will join me at 7 PM UK time on Mondays for our 12-week series starting next week on the 12 weeks before Christmas. See you later. Bye bye. Love yous. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around this long. Just as an added bonus, because you did make it this long, I want to give you one last little tip, little bonus tip. Okay, if you are stuck on a very, very tight budget like we are this year, for everything that's not just food related, that's Prezi related, that's everything in between related, here's a top tip. Buy the cheapest you can of the things that you're going to use the most of. Okay, things like flour, sugar, oats, icing sugar, that kind of stuff. You don't need to buy name brands for that. Buy the cheapest you possibly can for as much as you can. Make your money go further and keep the money for the things that are going to cost the most. Things like the ingredients for your main course, whether you're a veggie or not. You know, meat is expensive. Having special ingredients for Christmas for vegans and vegetarians is just as important. So if you want to buy things like a really nice balsamic or a bottle of olive oil or some dried porcini mushrooms or whatever it is that you want to buy, some pine nuts that are usually not in your cupboard, that's where you want to spend your money. You don't want to spend it on the basics. So just keep that one in mind as well. Alright guys, I will see you later. Love you heaps. Bye bye.